The name of the show, Surroundings. Who's in the exhibition?
Okay, right. Ready?
I'm always ready.
Hello, I am Emily Smith Polyblank. We have a show here called Surroundings in Deal at Linden Hall. There is Tony Smith, who's my late father, Linda Clarke, who is my mother, and Catherine Farr, who's my friend and garden buddy. We garden together. And the show is called Surroundings, mainly due to the fact that we draw from our surroundings. Lots of landscapes and plants and animals and things in my work.
What is your style? What is the style that you...
Oh, yeah. I mainly do woodcuts and I hand colour. I don't do more than one colour. There may be one with two colours, but mainly I work straight onto wood and spend a long time. Like one of my pictures is of a hedge with dogs running past, which is directly, I spent days sitting in the field doing lots of drawings of the hedging and trees, and eventually I drew straight onto the wood and worked on that till I took it indoors because it got too cold and started cutting on it. Yes, I try to do work straight onto a stressed piece of wood, usually floorboard or driftwood or something like that, to bring up, it brings up the grain. And I draw straight onto the wood. Quite often I go out and draw from life, straight onto the wood till I'm happy with it. Eventually I cut it, and I use only one colour, very rarely two, because I find it makes the print stagnant and there's not enough movement in it. So once I've done that one colour, it's set, and I can then almost colour it in by hand, which adds more to the flow and movement of
which
the
is
dogs running.
More individual, isn't it?
More individual. Each one is individually done, so it's unique.
My name is Catherine Farr. I'm a painter from South London, now living on Romney Marsh in Kent. This show, Surroundings, is a very personal response to the way I work and the subject matter of my work. My work is mainly gardenscapes or flowers, seascapes, and
Is your environment important to deciding what you're going to work on?
my environment is fundamental because I need a safe space to work in. It's a place that I can go to retreat, to feel safe, secure, inspired, away from the world and all the horrible things that are in it sometimes.
So I saw a great photo of your studio. It's kind of down... Oh, you showed it to me down the garden?
Yes, my studio's at the end of my garden. I've only had a proper studio, for the past 3 years, which has been amazing. I've always had to work in rooms in the house. So I finally, after quite a long time, got my own space. So that has made a massive impact on my work, and I've been able to use oil paint again, which I couldn't in the house because of drying and animals and children and hanger-oners and everything else that come to the house.
Do you think having your own space is important as an artist, having their own kind of environment?
Definitely, yeah, because you need to have all your things around you that help, everything around you that's available to you to work, because I also do a little bit of printmaking, but I do lots of mixed media, obviously draw, so I've got everything to hand. I've got all my treasures, little things like pebbles from the beach and things that people have given me, photographs of people I love, inspiration, books of artists or whatever. So it's become a little haven for me. And my garden is really important to me because that's another way of escaping and feeling good. It's quite nice to walk down the garden, down the windy path to my studio. It's part of the journey and the creation process. So that's been good. And I've started doing seascapes in the last 2.5 years because I now live by the sea in Romney Marsh. So, and that's been another place that I go to for refuge, really, when I'm feeling stressed or feeling like things are too much. I go and walk on the beach and feel better. I did live in Spain by the sea for several years, and so there are the odd painting that may seem quite random, like the bottle brush painting. And that's from southern Spain where I used to live, and my daughter at the moment is still living there, so I do work from when I'm there as well.
Is that
Great Dixter, the garden in Northern Christopher Lloyd's garden.
very beautiful.
It's the best garden in
So
the whole world.
what's the process there? Did you take a photograph?
I draw there and I take lots of photographs. And yeah, I'm a friend, so I go at least once a month. Go to friends' events. I went to a workshop recently with Fergus, the head gardener who took over from Christo. And he's all about colour and layers and textures. So gardening sort of is hand in hand with painting. He's very good at putting colours together. He's introduced me to bright pink and yellow. So my garden has changed as well as my painting from going to Great Dixter. And it's another one of those places that I feel at home there now. I feel almost like it's a bit like it's my garden a little bit, because I know it really well. I know my way all around it. I know what's growing, but at the same time, each time you go, there's something new. It's layers and layers. And each year, Fergus runs a different flower through a bed or a border, so it changes. So it's interesting. It's really inspiring.
My work, which I'm sharing with my late husband Tony Smith, my daughter Emily Smith Polyblank, and Catherine Farr, a friend, and they're just, my work is just, as the exhibition's named, it's usually about my surroundings, usually paintings of my family and the countryside, and I used to go hop picking and hop training over the years, and I've quite a few paintings of that, and of sea sorter, where I've got a beach hut, so I spend a lot of time there, which is lovely.
I'll talk a bit about my father's painting and how, whilst cleaning them up ready for this show, I would be driving along and suddenly see a bit of landscape that I think, God, he got the light right, he got the colour right, and it really made me look again deeper at his work and how clouds change and the trees, the colour in the trees that you don't necessarily notice. I remember him teaching me. We'd gone for a walk and I was painting, and him saying, can you see, if you look at it, look at the colour. You haven't quite got the colour. Look at the colour. Can you see a different colour in there that you haven't got? And it was purple. And you wouldn't think purple would be in trees. And it worked so well. And it changed, little hints like that changed my life. Well, he taught a lot anyway, so he was dab hand at telling me how to paint. And anyway, a lot of his work is landscapes. But he was also a very good portrait painter and painted a lot of people's portraits. And I think he was quite traditional, but a good eye. It wouldn't take him a few flicks and he would work something out quite quickly.